So in the previous session, I guess we have discussed on software testing lifecycle, and before to that, we have seen the evolution of testing. And in the STLC lifecycle, we have seen what are the important phases, right? In each and every phase, like requirement phase is there, planning phase, analysis phase, design, implementation, execution, conclusion, and the closure phase. So in a high level, these are the phases. Like requirement phase, we will gather the requirements, what we need to test, what are the applications under test, and other details here. And under test planning, we will do the actual test planning. So for this, for every stage, if you remember, I have shown you an Excel sheet, and so using that Excel sheet, after every stage, we will have an artifact which will be out coming out. For example, in requirement analysis, we need to create RTM document, and in test planning, we need to create test plan document, and in the test case development, we need to create the test cases, how to develop. Uh, Test cases, and during the test execution, how to do report and how to do test closure. Suppose if you are facing any defect in during the testing, we will check how to check the defect, how to raise a defect, and what is the defect life cycle here. So that's what we are going to test for today. We will see the artifacts, each and every artifact, and check how to do the functional or manual testing. um, that's the today's agenda. So any queries before we proceed further? Yeah, all right. Okay, so we need an application to test, right? So for example, it might be in any application. So first we will start up with a desktop based, sorry, Chrome based, web based application. So for example, Vicroads, Vicroads, right, check. Okay. So Vicroads is one of the government portal which is used to register your vehicle, or it is similar to like the RTO in India. So which is used to register your vehicle, pay the registration fees and other things in order to make your vehicle to run on the road without any illegal things like the proper registration. So let's check this website. Suppose if this is the client, suppose if you're working for this Vicroads government website. So you are a tester. Now you need to test this website, right? So first of all, you need to understand, you need to gather the requirements, like there will be a development team. You need to understand what exactly you are going to test, and is it a manual or is it automation? If it is a manual, what functionalities are in the testing scope, and what functionalities are the other things are out of scope, like this. So so this is how you need to analyze. So first we'll check what are the documents. I have got a folder here which is called test artifacts. So there are a lot of documents that you need to create when you are in a testing team, when you're a functional tester or a manual tester. But these are the bare minimum documents which you must and should know. So what I'm going to do is I will go one by one document and give overview how to create this one. And this would be our application under test. Okay, even for the automation test cases, we will try automating the live portal so that you will have a real-time experience for upon the application under test. Okay, so let me, so first thing what we are going to do, so you need to gather requirements, so which is called as RTM document, right? And the other thing is test strategies we have, test planning document we have, and the test cases template we have, and defect report template. Now I can ask a question here for you. Will all organization follow the same templates which I'm showing here? So like say for example, RTM is there. So in RTM, this is the template. So for example, technical assumptions are here, functional requirement is here, status, architectural design, technical specification, components, software modules, test cases, testings, implementations, and verification plans are there. And additional comments or some additional fields might be there. So will all organizations follow the same structure which is shown in the document? The answer would be no, definitely no. Why? Because every organization, as per their own requirement, they are going to change this template. So you can see here, I'll share all these documents with you, with everyone after this session in the drive link. So under today's date lab, you can go and check there after the post training session. So every organization, based on the requirement, they are going to change these columns or these fields or any, not only a requirement traceability matrix, but any document. In that case, test strategy, test planning, or test case document like that. Okay. So if you see here, the first one would be requirement traceability matrix, right? Here you need to mention, gather all the matrix, like what exactly you're going to test, which document you're referring to, which components you are testing, and which modules you are referring, and what are the test case numbers that are there, and is it tested or not, who have tested, verification, who has done that, who has reviewed this, when you're going to release this to UAT, when you're going to release this to production. This is what you need to gather inside a requirement traceability matrix in a high level. So usually you will also have a sheet called as revision history before this requirement traceability matrix, so which is called revision history. Suppose if your testing is too complex, say for example our website is Wicrod's, this website, right? So if you see here, I have a lot of functionalities. I want to sign up to Wicrod's functionality. You have sign up functionality, pay my registration, check my address. So each and everything is a one functionality, right? So which is very complex. So under the license you have lot of things again here. Mm, let's say this. Yeah, under license you have a lot of things here. Under registration again you have a lot of things here. So like this, each and every module, like we can say this as modules. So first of all, you cannot write test cases for all the for the entire application in a single in a single requirement traceability sheet like this. So first of all, you need to categorize your application into components and into modules. Okay. So for example, this is a Wicrod's website. I'm also seeing it for the first time. If I am a manual tester, if I'm a functional tester, how will I how will I divide this website into multiple components in order to make my test artifacts understandable and easy to use? So what I will do is, I will first go through the complete entire website functionalities. Now we'll understand what is the major functionalities in this portal. So this is a Victoria state government registration portal, where you can take your license, apply for license, or renew your license, or upgrade your license. So those are your functionalities under license. And also registration, suppose if you are buying a new car, van, or any vehicle, so the registration will be there, or every year you need to pay your registration, right? So that renewal and all will be under registration. Now safety and road rules will under one module, and traffic and road use is under module. So this tells the detail in how to go, what are the areas that you need to follow the traffic rules, and what is the rule, how you need to follow in school zones, in freeways and other things. So like this, planning and projects, business and so what I will do is, since each and every module in the left hand side contains many functionalities. These are functionalities. Sign up is one of the functionality, pay my registration is one more, and check my registration is like this. These are the different functionalities, right? So since they have multiple functionalities, what I'm going to do is, I will take this as a modules. I'll break them this as modules. License is one module, registration is one module, safety and road rules is one module, traffic and road use is one module. So under this, planning and projects is another module, different business and industries one module, and under coronavirus we have only one link. So you can either if you want to consider as a module, you can consider, or if you want to directly ignore, you can ignore, or for industry partners you can select it as a different module. Okay. Just a second, guys. Okay, sorry for that. So these are the different modules how I categorize. Okay, so now um, I can plan my how to do my testing, right? So this is called as so then later what I will do. So in the first module, I in the I12 module, I will check how many functionalities are there. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Under these functionalities, if there are any other additional functionalities, say for example pay my registration, so when you go inside the pay my registration functionality, you might have one or more functionalities here. Say for example so vehicle details, this is like a series of steps, we will see at least one later. So under this one you have additional functionality called card payment fee. So if you go here, a new functionality will come, or if you go to this my Wicroads account, so it will go to your account. So like this different functionalities will be integrated in your functionality. So you need to ensure whether in your testing have you covered this functionality before only. My Wicroads account testing is, if it is covered, we will just give the reference from this test case to this test case. This is been covered in that particular test case number or test case ID. Okay, so before this one, let me show you um, yeah, clear. So since lot of this is a big application and lot of test cases will be there and lot of functionalities will be there, so you must understand how to break those functionalities into smaller pieces, test those smaller pieces, and at the last integrate all those smaller pieces under one test suite to execute for a regression test cases. We will discuss what is regression test cases and all. Don't worry about that now. Now, first of all, you understand how to do test planning. Okay, so test planning is one of the basic feature which every tester must have in your day-to-day life. Okay, uh, yeah. So for test planning, what are the documents that are required? Or so, for example, before to do test planning, you also need to do test strategy. So this test strategy will be mainly done by test leads, or sometimes senior testers, or sometimes the test managers. So here you need to. So this is a sample test strategy which I have downloaded from one of the portal. So name of the project. So what is the name of the project that we are going to test? Wicroads. So you need to mention your official name of the project here. Then there is a test strategy document. So here you need to maintain this revision history. So revision history means, so for example, today you have worked, there are many sessions here. Uh, Let me check where is this navigation pane. This is a very old, this 2007. So in 2000, so you will have a navigation pane where the sessions and all will be shown in the left hand side. So I in this 2007, I'm not sure how to check that. I will show you later. So revision history is like some. So for example, today you have worked on uh, mm, one, two, three sessions. Then tomorrow you're going to work on 4, 5, and 6 session. So you need to make the revisions. Say for example, today I have worked this one and you have submitted to client, approved all these 3 sections. 4th, 5th, 6th section, when you are completing, you need to make those revisions completed. Once all the document has been freezed, suppose if any changes are coming, say for example, in the scope, you are going to add performance testing is in scope. So in that cases, so for example, uh, performance testing is in scope. Okay, so now the scope has been changed, right? So when the scope has been changed, the other sessions like test approach. So what would be your test approach? You need to use some performance testing tools. and you will write your test approach, what type of tools you are going to use, load runner or whatever, neo load or jmeter, whatever the tool you are using, you will write the tool and what is the approach you are going to follow. All this test approach will be written. So when you are making such type of revisions, you will increase your revision version here. So for example, our initial revision would be this one. So today's date is 21st. uh, so this is the first date and version would be 1.0, and author would be, let's say I am writing this one, and this is initial release. Okay, so in the initial release I'm going to develop this document, like what is the scope. It defines parameters like the scope of testing is manual. Scope of testing is, so let me write the scope here, manual testing of Wicrod's application. See, this is a boring job. I clearly understand, because manual testing is a boring job, and even for me, it is. This is the first time I'm giving training on manual testing. Usually, I directly start with automation testing or on the programming language, but since there are few starters, so just for them to understand what is the testing terminologies and what type of artifacts a manual tester will use in his day-to-day life, I'm showing all these documents. So usually I wrote my last test strategy in 2018. After 2018 I never wrote a test strategy, because I'm working on the same account and same project. So for me there was no need for me to write a test strategy. So these are the one-time activities during the project initiation. So why I'm covering all these subjects are just to make sure that you must be familiar what is a test strategy and what are the components a test strategy will contain. So the test strategy will mainly contain like scope of testing, test approach, test environment, what are the tools that you are going to use for testing, release control, how you are going to release to UAT and production, are you maintaining any logs or like, and risk analysis, reviews and approvals. So this is what you are going to majorly maintaining test strategy. So this is not a rocket science or something like that. It's just a Word document. If you know general English, how to read and write, you will also be able to write this test strategy. Okay. So the strategy will be similar and same for almost all the organizations, based on the application complexity and the based on the project culture and team. These sessions might be increasing or decreasing, but these are the minimum mandatory sessions which you need to include in inside a test strategy document. Are you clear with this, guys? So all I'm trying to explain here is, you must understand what is test strategy, why you are going to write the test strategy here, what is the need of this one. So usually test strategy would be in Word document, usually, generally, most of the times. Sometimes if the client is complex or other things, then they maintain in Excel sheets. But Word document is the preferred format, and or a PDF document once it is finalized. Okay, so what does a test strategy contain? So the test strategy contains the scope of the test, test approach, test environment, testing tools, release control, risk analysis, and reviews and approvals. So these are the sessions which contains in the inside a test strategy. So before that, you need to you will have a revision history where you will be maintaining the revisions of your document. Okay, clear till here? Any questions? Any doubts? Do you want me to repeat, or how is it? Vinod, Harsha?
No, I am fine. I'm just noting the things. That's all.
I'll share this one. See, no one can remember all these terminologies or all these sessions and all. You no need to either by heart or you no need to learn this one. So every organization will give you test strategy and they will ask you to write the test strategy. So since if you are the newbie, so you will be able to not able to completely write the with all the terminologies, but these documents and all will be provided by the organization. We no need to remember all these things. Which section will come, which section should come next, first, like this. So this and all will be already be there. So all you need to know is under the scope, what exactly you need to write. So what is our scope? Our scope for now, see what we will do guys. I will maintain the same test strategy template till the end of the session. We are going to do different types of testing, right? So initially we'll start with manual testing, then we will go with automation Selenium, then we are going to do the mobile testing, then we are going to do API testing, right? So I will update the same test document. Initially I'll write only for manual testing here. Suppose if I'm not able to write completely in today's session, I will write it offline and I'll keep in drive. Okay. From next time, suppose when you start automation testing, we need to come and update this test strategy document. So that time we will update the same document and we will work on this. At the end of session, at least you will have a end-to-end knowledge on a real-time application, how it will work and how we are going to do this one. Are you clear with this?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So what is the scope of testing? The scope of testing is for now manual testing of this particular this one, and so and I will also include few points like so cover all the functionalities from Wicrod's application. What type of application it is? It is a web-based application. So you write Wicrod web-based application and okay. So how many types of browsers have you used in your day-to-day life? See, for me, my favorite browser is Chrome browser. I use Chrome, and recently Edge browser is there, Microsoft Edge. So this is the Edge browser, and we also have Internet Explorer, the legacy browser which everyone hate this one, and we also have Mozilla Firefox browser. Uh, I guess I don't have Mozilla, and we have Opera browser. Agree. So these are different types of browsers, right? So what is the scope of this test? Let me close this one. So in which websites do you want to test this particular application which is under test? Who will give you this information, guys? So this information will be provided by customer. The customer will come to you and tell, boss, I want to test this application in so and so web portal and so and so websites. So this is my testing scope. So based on your customer requirement, your scope will be increased or decreased here. Okay. So I'll say uh, browser should include Chrome, Edge, and Internet Explorer. Okay, so these are the browsers which I need to test. So for example, in Chrome, if it is loading like this, the same page in Edge also should load like this. So in Edge, sometimes based on the script or the technology what the front end user has developed, this the login might look little different in IE or little different in Chrome. So that we have monitored already. You might have monitored already. So all those bugs and all you need to report, and you should make sure that developer keeps aligning all the browsers in a same visual panel. Okay, so that is like this you will define your test scope. Okay, then what are the other things? Who will review this document? So the document would be reviewed by customer. Here you can also write his name. Suppose if you have customer name as David, so you can write a name here. So David and provide sign off. Okay, now under revision history, you also need to upload here. You can add one more column. Uh, so reviewer. So I'm going to develop this document, and David is going to review this one. And like this, whoever is going to develop, and a reviewer will be there for this document. Okay, this additional field. Okay, so you should also be well versed with Word features, and and also the Excel features when you're a manual tester, right? So for example, if you want to add a new column here, if you're coming and struggling here, then definitely definitely you will be doing either by googling it or somewhere by one or the other way. You are going to do this one, but make sure you learn this very fast if you are starting your testing career now. Why? Because this will save so much of energy in your day. If you know shortcuts in Word and Excel. Okay. Okay, so like this, you'll define the entire scope of the document. What I'll do is the remaining things I will fill by my own, and I will upload in Google Drive, or take this as assignment. So I will upload this document to Google Drive. So just complete. Who will approve this document? Approver would be the David. Testing activities carried out with timelines. So you can roughly estimate. Even the test estimation is one of the niche skill, guys. So everyone cannot do the test estimation. You need to have a fair bit of experience in order to do the test case estimations. So for now you have seen this, right? So for example, I want to sign up with Wicroads. Sign up is one of the functionality. Like this, if you go here, you need to provide your username, password, and you need to go to multiple couple of screens, and you need to do sign up. So there are four steps in sign up functionality: one, two, three, and four. So for manual, if you want to sign up and if you want to verify this one, you will take at least 10 to 15 minutes of time, right? So 15 minutes of time is required. So like this, under this one, let's assume on an average, every test case is required 15 minutes to manually perform 15, 15, 15, 15, 15 like this. So now you count how many modules are available on the left hand side here. Okay. And every module, how many test cases are there? Each test case take an average execution time as 15 minutes. Okay, or at max 20 minutes. Let's assume this is a complex website here. So because this is a live website, it might not execute all the test cases as your requirement. So take 20 minutes as a manual test case execution time. Now your assignment would be how many modules are there? One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, up to, let's assume 10 modules are there. In each module, on an average, you have 8 test cases. So total 80 test cases are there. 80 test case into 20 minutes. So you will have around 1600 minutes divided by hours you do, and divided by 8.5 or 8 if you are in AU, if it's 8 hours, or if you're in India, it's 8.5 hours of time, and check how many days you are going to get for this uh, estimation, and that you mention in the scope of the document. Okay. Performance testing scope. So this is, you can remove this activity. So are you clear how to do this test estimation, guys? So this is simple estimation. At the end of the session, I will show you how to estimate automation test case as well. So are you clear with this, or any questions, or do you want me to repeat this? Okay. So let me take it as no. And yeah. So the remaining document, you know how to write the scope, right? You understand how to write the scope. And the second one would be the test approach. How exactly you're going to write the test approach? So manual testing of Wicroad application. Okay, process of testing is like, say for example, now we don't have any Jira or HPALM, right? So everything what we are doing, we are maintaining in Excel sheets, and we are maintaining in the Word documents. So you need to mention here. So here you need to mention all the artifacts are managed in Word and Excel sheets, Excel documents. Okay. Then what would be the process of testing? So initially start with manual testing to check the user interface. So initially you will verify the user interface of your web application if it is loading properly or not. Then for all pages, okay. Then continue with functionality testing. So what do you mean by functionality testing? So for example, if you're clicking on check my registration, right? So when you give your vehicle, say for example, if it is a car or if it is yeah, the registration number, if you provide the registration number here, and if you click on search, it should populate the results. So that is what the functionality. So for example, ABC123. So this is not a valid registration number, right? When I click on search, man, it got registered. Okay. So ABC123 has been registered with silver Isuzu DU vehicle. So there is the engine number, there is the registration number, there is a complaints number. So like this, it should populate the registration of your particular website. So this is the functionality testing. So if you click on this button and if it is not going anywhere, then there is a defect in that. That's how. Let's see how to raise the defects later, but you understand how to test the functionality. So continue with functionality testing for all modules and test cases. So then testing levels. So initially you can have three levels of testing. So one would be UI level testing. So in the UI level testing, you'll verify whether the pages are loading properly or not, whether the menu bars are there, buttons are there, links are there, all the web elements, labels are loaded correctly, headers are loaded correctly, the theme is loaded in the background correctly or not, if whether the Wicrots logo is loaded, or the footer section is currently correctly displayed for all the pages. uh, these are the initial UI testing, guys. The menu button, the menu bar is looking consistently across all the things or not. So this is how it should look like. Okay. So this would be the initial user interface level testing, and second would be module level testing. Module level uh, testing. So here, uh, here you say primary. Okay. So here in this module, whatever are the main functionality. So you once you're in any domain like banking domain or any other domain, you will understand under some modules there will be a very important functionalities. You cover those important functionalities in the beginning, which are least priority, move it to the end in the third phase of testing. So like this, under every module, pick up couple which are important functionalities and test those functionalities. So this the deciding of which is important and which is not important, that will be completely depend on your product knowledge, how much knowledge you have on the particular product. Okay. Then same module level in detail testing, like um, test case level, complete end-to-end testing here. Okay. So like this, you will write your test strategy. You will also consider all other roles and responsibilities, like how many testing levels we have considered, like what is the team size. Say the team size is 4 people, consists of QA analyst, who is a fresher here, and senior QA analyst, and technical lead or test lead, I can say. I'll have two QA analysts here. And here you also need to write the roles and responsibilities of QA analyst. Okay. So if you want to get these roles and responsibilities, just go to LinkedIn or Naukri or Seek. Just type for these roles. You will have a job opportunities. Copy paste that roles and responsibilities and paste it here. And just modify as per your application. Similarly, you will write in roles and responsibilities for QA senior analyst. And similarly, write roles and responsibilities for test lead. Okay. Then what is the testing approach? So the testing approach would be on what are the tools using automation tools if applicable. No automation for now. So we remove this one, and test approach is completely manual. Okay. And adding new defects, retesting, defect triage, retesting and sign off. So adding new defects is maintained in defect tracking sheet. I'll show you how defect tracking sheet will look like. And retesting is updated in defect tracking sheet only, and defect triage will be arranged in everyday scrum call scroll with offshore, so with developers. And regression testing is not applicable because we are doing complete functional, and testing sign off will be provided by customer. You can give his name as David. Like so these are other things which you need to mention. Okay. So this is called your test approach. So for this for this application which we have considered for testing, you are understanding, right, how to write your test approach. And the test approach, what are the things you need to mainly focus on? So how you are maintaining your artifacts, first thing, and how you are continuing your functionality testing, and how many levels of testing are there, and how many roles are there, how many people are going to be participate in this testing, and what are the roles and responsibilities, and what is the test approach, how we are maintaining the defects and defect cycle. So this is what exactly you write in the test strategy, guys. Any questions here? Are you
No
following
questions.
me?
Yes, no question.
Okay, cool. And the test environment. So under this test environment, we need to mention what is the either hardwares or softwares you need to require in order to do this testing. So for example, if it is an automation testing, you need to have some set of tools, right, like Eclipse, Core Java installed, and other things. So all for now, for us, we need Google Chrome browser and a Windows or a Mac laptop to execute this one, right? So on our environment, we will write like Windows OS based, and Chrome, and we also have different browsers, right, to test. Chrome, Edge, and IE browsers are required for the environment setup for testing this application. Okay, so let's keep this as simple, and we can update when we are going for automation. And what are the testing tools that we are going to use? So nothing much. So here we are going to maintain uh, test planning document, test cases document, RTM, which is requirement traceability matrix, and test strategy we are maintaining. What else we have here? And defect tracking sheet. So these are the things which we are maintaining. So complete functional. Okay. And the release control. So release management, suppose if you are working with any other service now, we need to mention if it is not there, there is no service now or Jira to release the artifacts, a separate document, and email communication is maintained to track the releases. Okay, so this is what you are going to do under release control. Don't worry about if you don't understand what is release control. I will cover in going forward. And risk analysis. So we need to make sure that list all the risks, whatever the risk you have here, that you need to give mention here. So for example, what risk we might have here. Uh, require always environment to be available for testers, and tester document version should be managed in Git or Bitbucket for backups. So for example, you are writing all your test cases in this document. Okay, in this test case time, you have written almost 200 test cases. All of a sudden one day by mistake you will do shift delete for this document. Okay, this test case template document. Then are you for writing these 200 test cases, you would have spent at least 25 days. I'm telling in a nutshell. So if you're having 25 days of effort gone with a shift plus delete, then what is the point of maintaining? So you need to maintain these document versions, right? So in order to maintain these document versions, you need to maintain either Git or Bitbucket. In our syllabus, we have not mentioned about Git or Bitbucket. So, but I'll cover that after core Java. Okay, because it will be very helpful and very useful for you to, and which gives a real-time experience. So, and the reviews and approvals, who is going to review and who is going to approve? So this one, it's just a common sense, you can write on your own. Okay, so this is how you will prepare a test strategy document, guys. So any questions here, any queries? So then you need to, don't forget to update your region history. All of a sudden tomorrow if you are coming and updating, I will show you when I update for automation how to do this revision history. Clear with this one? So this is one of the good interview question. What is a test strategy? Have you written any test strategy document? And what exactly test strategy document will contain? So they don't expect you to tell every word one after the other, one section of the other section. You at least you need to tell in test strategy, we will have a test scope. We'll define the test scope, and in the scope we will do whatever we are doing. And we will have a test approach, how exactly we are going to test, what tools you are going to use, and what is our test plan and other things, and what is the environment, what testing tools, and how we are going maintaining the release management, risk analysis, and review. So like this, you can explain at least few sessions in them, so that they will assume that you know something about test strategy. Okay, so I'll close this one and I will quickly show you how to write a test case, so that you can start writing few test cases here. Okay, this is a test plan document. So test plan document is also a Word document, which is same similar to test in scope, sorry, test strategy document. So here you will write, you will be doing the actual test planning, like what is the scope, same in scope, out scope. In scope means what exactly you're testing. Out scope means what exactly you're not testing in the application which is having. And what is the quality objective? Quality objective would be all functionalities would be working fine. And what are the roles and responsibilities? Same. First session is completely we already seen, and the second session would be testing methodology. So how many levels? Bug triage. Triage means I will tell you, whenever you find a bug, the developer, tester, everyone will see. Tester will explain how he identified bug and what are the steps to reproduce it, and the developer will either accept the bug or he will reject the bug. So the triage call will happen, defect triage or bug triage, and suspension criteria and resumption requirement. So this is very very similar to test strategy document, but few sessions are included additionally here. So, but other sessions are very very similar. So try to update this document as well. And so test planning and test strategy will be familiar once you write these documents. And the other thing is test case templates. See, test case templates, every company will follow their own pattern and own individuality. So, for example, you see this template has test case one in one sheet, test case two in second sheet, test case three in third sheet. Uh, but how I write test cases are little bit different. I will write all the test cases in single sheet with the different rows. I will show that how to write that. Before that, we will see what are the things that we need to cover inside a single test case. Okay. So first one would be the test case ID. So you can give any test case ID. Generally, it would be if your application short name is like, for example, Vicroads, uh, VICR underscore 001 means these are test case one, and description would be uh, validating Vicroads launch web, validating launch, reviewed by our David and created by Harish. And version is, I'm writing it for the first time. See, version also you need to understand, guys. 1.0 means 1 is major version, 0 is minor version. So for example, if I want to upgrade this one to next version, if there is any minor change, so for example, user ID is this one, I'm changing the user ID to a different user ID like this. So this is a minor change, right? We are not doing any major change here. We're not adding complete table or something like that. When you do this minor change, this minor number will increment like 1.1. Or again, if I change the password here like this, then the minor change will increase like this. Or if I'm adding any new table or new section like this, a major thing. So this is a major change, right? So that time I will do 2.0. So it's a major release. So that all these revisions and all you need to maintain. Okay, for test case it's not necessary, but for understand for any other documents, not only for testing, even in dev or wherever it is. So major and minor version you need to understand how they will be categorized. Okay. So QA testers log is so as of now nothing I'll keep. So testers name I will queue as Harish, and testing date would be like 22 December 2020. And the test case is, I will not give any result now. I will after testing this one we will see. Prerequisites, I need to have access to Chrome browser because I need to launch the website, right? And suppose if it's a login functionality, I need to have a test data, right? What is the username, what is the password? Or if it is register functionality, I need to have first name, last name, email ID, and other things and all. So this is the test data. Here we will provide, and here is uh, the test steps, actual test steps. So if you see here, this is the first step. You need to launch your URL. So this is your URL. Site should open as expected. This is test step status, pass. And once this is, say for example, I'll write here for a login functionality. Okay, we launched this one. Okay, so click on login. We launched this one. So we have email ID, and I'll give you a password. When I click on login, this is a negative test case because my password is wrong. So it should show me error message. This is what our test case is. I'll write an test case for this one. User will click on login button on the website here. Okay. So expected result. Uh, a pop-up with login form should appear. Instead of pop-up, I'll say div tag. A div tag with login form should appear. So actual result, yes. When we click on this one, this has been appeared. So it is pass. And after this one, user will enter. Sorry, username. So you will pass this one here. So once I click on user will click on login button, I should get this error message. Why? Because my username and password is not correct. So I'll just pass these steps. Okay. So this is a simple test case. So this is the test case one, step IDs, test step IDs, test step details, what user is going to do, what is expected results and actual results, and pass, fail, or not execute or suspended. So what date I have tested? So the result is pass, right? So I have passed, and make sure that you highlight this, fill this with green color so that the test case is pass, and date of tested is December 22nd. So this is what a test case template will look like. This is a simple website template. Okay, now you can ask a question. So do I need to maintain one Excel sheet for one test case? Why? Because in the simple test case where what we have taken, there are more than what we have calculated, more than 160 functionalities, right? 160 test cases. Then if you are creating 160 sheets inside this test case, then it would be a headache, right, to maintain. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a one Excel sheet. I'll complete this, guys. Then we can wind up the session. Create a new sheet, Excel sheet. So this time what you are going to do, what are the details that it is required for you? So you need test case ID, right? So just write here test case ID and test case description. and here would be test case steps, test steps, not test case steps, test steps. And what are the other things you have? uh, so test data you have, and tested by, and review, sorry, it is result, actual result, expected actual result. What else you need, guys? Mm, whatever is common. So for example, prerequisite access to Chrome browser, right? So that is not required to mention. Even if you mention, for all the test cases, it will be same. So it doesn't require for you to mention. You can mention in assumptions. And test result. Suppose if you find defect, you will raise Jira and a retest result, date, tested date. Okay, so these are the columns which are bare minimally required for you to do your testing. Okay, so now same test case, whatever I have written manually, I'll try to write here. So my test case ID is TC001. Description is this is the verifying, this is my test case description, scenario or description. And what are my test steps? So my test steps are, these are my test steps. So what I'll do, so you can write your test steps like this. I'll format it later, don't worry about formatting. And my expected results are this, actual results are this. Fish. And the date is 22nd December 2020. All you need to do is a little bit of decoration here. And so I told you to be well versed with Excel sheet, right? So for the same, for this reason only I have told you that. And Okay. So this is how you can write. So for example, if you want to go for second test case, you can directly copy paste and paste it here. And second test case would be very, very little change, right? So for example, if it is success message, you just go and modify your success message and make sure that your success message is there, and you can write like this. This is how we maintain our test cases for our easiest way. So that's why I told the document whatever I'm showing for manual testing is not permanent or fixed. Based on the requirement and their choice and their comfort, they will be changed here. Okay, are you clear with this, guys? So this is how you will write a test case. So if you are really want to practice manual testing, so write a few test cases for at least for one or two modules, so that you will understand how to write these test cases for your Vicroad application. Are you clear with this? This is also called as test case development. So you're developing the test cases, and also if you're executing this one, right, if you're running this test case and if you're marking as pass, this is called as test execution. So we will also maintain snapshots in order to make it as a proof of execution, that we can see how to take snapshots on the remaining defect triage and other things in tomorrow meeting. And we will also start with introduction to Java programming language tomorrow. I'll just give introduction, and if possible, I will show how to install Java in your local machines. From day after tomorrow, we will be seeing programming language with Java. Only bare minimum concepts like what is class, what is interface, what is function, how to pass parameters, what are data types, simple list, simple array list, just how much is required for a automation tester to write the test cases. That one I will teach you later. When you are writing the test cases, you yourself will learn the programming language. Okay, so don't worry about programming language that it will be difficult or something like that. It will be very easy. Yeah. So if any questions in today's session, I'll take it. Otherwise, you can from the drive link under the lab folder, you can get these documents, write few test cases, and if you want me to review, once you written, you let me know. Send this document in WhatsApp. I can review and I can give you comments. So try to write test strategy document, test planning document, and writing the creating the test cases. Okay, questions, guys? Let me stop recording.